What's up guys, Magical Libra here today, and I've got a Phantom Knights deck profile for you guys. And what we'll be doing is we're going to be obviously going over the deck profile for you guys, and at the end we're going to be showing you a few combos, why I play the cards, and why I play the extra deck the way that I do. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it, guys. Alright, so if you're starting off, we do play the Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves, and if you don't know what these gloves do, these gloves really they put the hands on you, because what this card does is if you use it as an Xyz material, if it's under that Xyz monster gains 1,000 attack, because that Xyz monster, he gonna beef up his attack, he gonna put them hands on you. Alright. Also, what this other card does is you can banish it from your grave, and you can send a, I think it's the Phantom Knight, you can send a Phantom Knights card from your deck to your grave. And if you don't know what the Phantom Knights do, basically their whole gimmick is they're level 3 monsters, and they banish themselves from the graveyard to activate certain specific effects. Alright? So, Ragged Gloves is one of our normal summons of the deck. To be honest, right now the Phantom Knights are kind of slow-ish, in my opinion, and they're best at going second. So this is, if I could take this out of the deck and play a better Phantom Knight card, I would. But I don't really have, per se, Torn Scale. So I would take this out, and I would play Torn Scale 100%. Or I would take out Kagamucha Knight, which is what we play next, and I would play Phantom Knights of Torn Scale. And I don't really I'm not familiar with what Torn Scale does, but I do know he is way better than what I already have in this deck. So if you have Torn Scale, play it. So anyways, what Kagamucha Knight does is if you normal summon a level 3, or when you normal summon a level 3, you get to special summon this card. And you can only use that effect once per turn. By the way, most of the effects of our monsters are once per turn, guys. So just kind of expect that. So I won't really need to say that a whole bunch. And I have for our next monster, I have the English version somewhere that is secret rare, but I don't know where it's at. So I'm gonna use the German version of the Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak. And if you don't know what this card does is that it when you summon it, you can activate the effect to change it to defense position and target one monster on the field besides himself, and that monster gains 800 attack until your opponent's next in phase, pretty much till your opponent's next turn is over. Same thing. All right. Also, it's graveyard effect, because they all banish themselves from the graveyard pretty much. Is that you banish it from the graveyard, and you can add one the Phantom Knights monster from your deck to your hand. Most likely you're going to search our next card, which is the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots. And what this card does is if you control the Phantom Knights monster, you get to special summon this card from your hand. And oh man, I don't have any water. I'm just gonna find me something to drink. But anyway, so you just special summon that card if you control the Phantom Knights monster. And like I said, all of our monster effects are once per turn, so you can't spam out 3 Silent Boots. God, we wish. Let it be done. But anyways, you summon that out, and you just go into your rank 3 with Kagamucha or with that card. It really doesn't matter. Next off, we play 3 Psychic Wielder, and ignore the fact that this card is a tuner, because we don't play synchros in the deck, so just ignore the fact that he's a tuner. Alright? So what this card does is, if you control a level 3 monster besides Psychic Wielder, you can special summon this card. You can only use that effect once per turn. It has another effect involving synchro summoning, but we don't play synchros, so we just use that special summon mechanic of it. Which I also would play 3 Psychic Tracker, but I only have 2. Which is why Psychic Tracker has the same exact effect as Wielder. If you control a level 3 besides Tracker, you get special summon it. That's why I would play 3, but I only have 2. So I'm gonna just sub in another level 3, which is a Phantom Knights monster. And also, Tracker has the same exact Xyz or Synchro material effect, so we don't really use Synchro, so ignore that part. And what this Phantom Knights monster does is he is the Phantom Knights of Stained Greaves, and what it does is if the Phantom Knights monster is special summoned to my field, except during the damage step, I can special summon this card from my hand, and then I can increase this level by 1. Also, I can banish this card from my graveyard, special summon the Phantom Knights monster from my hand, right? From my hand, and I can increase it by 1. So that's what he does. He just increases the level, but he only increases one monster. He doesn't like summon him and summon another and increase by 1. And we need a card like that, please. All right, hear me, Konami. But so he's just basically another level 3 that is the Phantom Knights card. So I mean, it still works out with the Phantom Knight deck, even though it is kind of slow. But it's level 3s. We can get out one of our rank 3 Xyz monsters. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, just like that. All right. So next off, I only play 1-1 is Tour Guide from the Underworld and Farfa. I would play 3 of each, but you know, I'd probably take out some of the spell cards just to play 3 of each, but it is kind of slow because it's a normal summon and a special. And the reason the reason other Phantom Knights users like to play 3 and 3 is, you know, the Abyss monsters, they kind of kill destroy themselves on the field whenever they're summoned, because you know their effect just says destroy this card if you don't control another Burning Abyss monster or something like that. But what Tour Guide does is she just guides Farfa right out of the deck and negates his effects to destroy himself. So that helps out with summoning 2 level 3s. So I play 1-1 in the deck because it is neat. But you know, I think you can special summon Farfa from your hand, right? Yep, from your hand. So if you already have Farfa in your hand and you draw a Tour Guide, you're still good. But there you go. And to round up our monsters, guys, I do play the Dragoon package. So I have a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes Black Dragon. Alright, and that is going to be it for the monsters, guys. Let's go ahead and move into the spells. Alright, starting off with the spells, we're going to go ahead and continue on with our Dragoon package. That is Red Eyes Fusion, which we can use to send our Dark Magician and our Red Eyes Black Dragon from the deck straight to the grave to summon out Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And Magical Eyes Fusion just banishes the materials from the graveyard to summon a spellcaster monster, which is Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So we get 2 free Dragoons. It's great. Next off, for our rank up cards is the Phantom Knights of Rank Up Magic Force. And if you don't know what this card does, guys, I'm fixing to explain this large effect. So just like we're right here in the video, just skip to about right there. All right. So what this card does is during the main phase, you can banish 1 or more dark monsters from your grave. All right. I'm a banish 4. All right. Then target 1 dark Xyz monster I control and special summon from my extra deck the Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster, whose rank equals that of the targeted monster that I control that I targeted earlier, plus the number of monsters that I had just banished. So if I control a rank 3 monster and I banished 4, I get to summon out a rank 7. Neat! Alright. By using, so plus the number of monsters banished from before, by using the monster that you have on your field as the Xyz material for the new Xyz monster. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Xyz monsters. Don't worry, this is an Xyz deck. That's all we do. We do have some Lincoln, 1 Fusion, but that's good. We're all good there. This is treated as an Xyz summon, so don't worry about summoning mechanics. If you want to special summon out your Xyz monster, you can. It's all good. Transfer the materials that the Xyz monster already had to the newly summoned monster. You can only activate 1 Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Force per turn. Alright, now we play the Phantom Knights of Rank Up Magic Launch. No, I'm not fixing to read that entire card effect. You're safe. What this card basically does is you target one of your Dark Xyz monsters that has no material, and you... I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, yes. You target one of your Dark Xyz monsters, such as Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, that has no material, alright? And you special summon one monster that's one rank higher on top of it, using Rebellion as a material. And this card goes to the graveyard. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard, and then you can send a Phantom Knights monster from your hand and attach it to that monster as material as well. So you just... He just stacks material onto monsters. He's ranking up, and he's attaching material. That's what he do. So let's go on into our limited spells, guys. And I know this video is kind of botched up, but these two cards really just botched up the video. Come on, guys. Let's just admit these two cards and the way I explained them. Really, yeah. All right. So we played the Foolish Burial Goods, and what this card does is you send a spell or trap card from your deck to the grave, and generally we are going to target possibly that card. Not likely, but generally we're going to target our Phantom Knight Sword so we can banish it using its effect, or Shade Brigandine. Or no, Shade Brigandine does not banish itself. Or we can target Fogblade to banish itself to summon out more monsters. So that's what Foolish Burial Goods does, is it sends a spell or trap from your deck to the grave. Alright, next off for our limited cards, we have Monster Reborn. We have Mr. Monster Reborn. And to join off Mr. Monster Reborn, we got Mr. Rhoda. You know, we got Mr. Rhoda. Alright, so what these two cards do, if you don't know what Monster Reborn does and you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like you really need to read. But Monster Reborn, you target a monster in either graveyard, you special summon it. Rhoda, you add a level 4 or lower warrior monster, and all we play are level 3 warriors, plus some extenders. And you add the level 4 or lower warrior monster from your deck to your hand, alright? And, yeah, I'm just not going to explain any more of the limited cards, because if you don't know what to do, oh my god. We play Harpy's Feather Duster, Raigeki, and Dark Hole. These are all extra cards I did not need in the deck, but, you know, I had them, and I'm like, these seem fun in the deck. These, yes. This, not so much. I would rather take this out for, like, a Mirror Force or something. You know, it's not competitive. Maybe a Magic Cylinder, because Magic Cylinder is still competitive, and nobody plays it, and I don't know why. It targets, and every single thing in this game targets. There are some cards that can't be targeted, but every card effect that we have in this game targets. I don't know why nobody's playing Magic Cylinder. So that's going to be it for the spells, guys. So let's go ahead and move on into the traps. And the traps are very, very small, actually. This is a 40-card deck, so be prepared. We do play Phantom Knights, Fogblade. 3 of them. Because what this card does is, it's a regular trap. You know, set it, wait till you can activate it. Sorry, you can't see down this way. So, yeah, let me just do this. You set it, alright, wait till you activate it, you flip it, alright, then you target a monster. Not your opponent's, just a monster on the field. Yours or your opponent's. And that monster's effects is negated, and nobody can attack that monster, and the controller of that card cannot attack with that monster. So, you know, I said it that way just to be general, because if like your opponent targets it to take control of it, you know, so like you target your opponent's monster mainly just to negate that monster's effects. Like if you're playing a Red Eyes user and he summons Bills, play Fogblade, alright, negate Bills' effect, because you can still target Bills. Bills just can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. You just negate Bills' effect and then attack over Bills. But if you're like in a really bad bind or really bad crunch, you'll have Fogblade and your one monster that's like super weak, and you know you're about to lose, and you just activate Fogblade. You target your own monster. Its effects are negated, but you know it can't be. Nobody is allowed to attack it. You can't attack with it, but nobody's allowed to attack it. So unless they have cards that can attack directly or pop that card, you know, you're safe for a turn pretty much. And so next off for our trap cards, guys, we have Phantom Knight's Sword. What this card does is it's kind of like an equip card like Fogblade is you target a monster on the field, it gains 800 attack. Also, if it were to be destroyed, you could destroy this card instead. And if that monster were to leave the field, you destroy this card. But it also has a banish effect. Man, I keep forgetting to mention Fogblade. This is the second time I recorded this, guys. Fogblade, you banish Fogblade in the graveyard to special summon the Phantom Knight's monster. So that's also very helpful with Xyz plays and Link plays. Now back to Sword. Sorry I had to go back and forth. But what Sword does is, you know, the 800, you know, destroy. Alright? But you can banish Fog. I called it Fog. You can banish Sword, guys. And what this card does is when you banish it, I gotta read it. I never use this, I'm sorry. You can banish this card from your grave, and you can target the Phantom Knight's monster in your grave, special summon it. So it basically has the same effect as Fogblade. I cannot believe I didn't remember that. And for the last of the Phantom Knight's spell cards, guys, is we play the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. And what this card does is, if you don't control any trap cards on the field or in your graveyard, you can set this card and immediately activate it. And what it does is, you get special summon it as a dark level 4 warrior monster with attack of 0 and defense of 300. It's also, while on the field like that, as a monster, it is not treated as a trap card. So that's very important. It does not have a banish effect, sadly. So that you can only activate one Shade Brigandine per turn, so say lucky. Alright, and because it is a 40 card deck, we only have 3 cards left, and I just decided to throw in 3 different types of Mirror Force. So I play Quaking Mirror Force, activate this card when my opponent attacks. I change all their monsters to face down defense, and they can't change them. So that shuts them down out of most extra deck options to get rid of those cards, except for Fusion. So almost like a lockdown from your extra deck. You have to summon new monsters. Sorry, bud. Storming Mirror Force. When they attack, I shuffle all their monsters back. I send all their monsters back to their hand that are in attack position. Same thing with Quaking. If they're in attack position. Drowning Mirror Force. If they attack me directly, I shuffle all their attack positions back into their deck. Alright. And that's going to be it for the main deck, guys. So let's go ahead and move on into the extra deck. As butched up as this video already is. Alright. So, starting off, I play one Levianeer, the Sea Dragon, and what this card does is it requires most of our Xyz monsters that are rank 3 require 2 level 3 monsters. So you're all good. What this card does is you detach a material and you target one of your banished level 4 or lower monsters and you special summon it. So it's basically just an extender. And I would play 2, but you know, if you can play 2, play 2. But what I decided to do was I decided to play a bit more on the Xyz path, but you know, I like ranking up stuff. So this is our one and only level 3 that stays a level 3 and nothing happens to it. So for I guess the rest of our level 3s, guys, because there's only one other level 3 and I play 3 of them, and that is the Phantom Knights of Break Sword. And what this card does is when you summon it, you can choose to detach material, alright? Then they can negate it if they want to. Your opponent can. Or, if they don't, after you detach the material, you target... Well, alright, to be fair and accurate, you detach a material and you target this card and another card your opponent controls. Then your opponent can negate it. But, you know, that was just me being rule-wise because I just came back from the tournament. Anyway... So what you do is you detach material, you target that card, you target your opponent's card, you destroy your break sword and that opponent's card if they let it go through. And if you have 2 Phantom Knights monsters as the materials for this card, or if you have 2 Phantom Knights monsters in your grave, period, When this card is destroyed, you can summon out 2 Phantom Knight monsters from your grave as level 4s. So that way you can go into a rank 4 Xyz monster, which goes into our next thing, and that is Evil Swarm Nightmare. That's one of our rank 4 targets for the Break Sword. What What Evil Swarm Nightmare does is, when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, so if like they pendulum summon, or they do an effect that summons like 3 at the same time, whatever. If they do that except during the damage step, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, change that special summoned monster or monsters to face down defense position. So it's basically Book of Moon, and if you're going to use 2 level 4s to pull into it, so you can, and it's not once per turn, so you can Book of Moon twice in 1 turn. So that's really great. So next up for our you can either target Night Swarm, because I do have an extra rank 4 in the deck that I could technically pull it out with one of our rank up spells using Levianeer, which is right here. I could use a rank up spell in Levianeer, but most likely not. And that is Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. And what this card does is you detach 2 materials. You target this monster and you target your opponent's monster. Your opponent loses half their attack, and this card gains half the attack that they lost. So if they had 25, if they had 3,000, you're going to gain 15. So you just attack them, and basically you take the 2 15s and you cancel it. And you inflict 3,000. But or 2,500. My bad. Thought he had 3,000. Oh well. Anyway. So Dark Rebellion is there, but we don't really use Dark Rebellion for his effect to attack. We just kind of want him to get rid of his Xyz materials, so we can use a rank up magic spell card to go straight into Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, and using Dark Rebellion as the material. So what happens is, if Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon is a material for Dark Requiem Xyz Dragon, his effect lets you have 2 extra effects, and those effects are, and I never use this card and I'm fixing to read it, is that if you have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon as material, it gains these effects. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, and then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Change its attack to 0, and if I do change its attack to 0, this card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack. That is now 0. Alright, so he already has 3,000. I'm looking at it. It already has 3,000. So it's going to gain that monster's original attack plus the 3,000 it already has, and I'm going to attack that 0, and I'm going to deal him a lot of damage. But the other effect is, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, so you can chain it, you can detach 1 material from this card, then negate the activation, and if you do negate it, you destroy that card. Then you can special summon 1 Xyz monster from your graveyard. So, really good. Dark Requiem's really good card. Alright, and next off for our other 2 Break Sword targets is Raider's Knight. And what Raider's Knight does is you detach 1 material from Raider's Knight, and you special summon 1 The Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor, or Xyz Dragon, Xyz monster that is a rank higher than Raider's Knight, or a rank lower, I believe. Yeah, or a rank lower, but you're always going to go higher. Higher is best. You special summon 1 that's rank higher, 1 rank higher, and you overlay Raider's Knight with that new rank monster, and you use the materials under Raider's Knight and Raider's Knight as materials for that new monster. Basically, that's how rank up works. They take the cards that are already there, and you just put another card on top of it. Anyways, those 2 targets for that effect are Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. And this card is our end game. I'm going to kill you, I'm going to defeat you, I'm going to punch you in the face with 10,000 attack, kind of card. Let me go ahead and review over why we use Raiders Knight for Ark Rebellion before I get into Ark Rebellion's effect. So Raiders Knight's specific effect is it's always treated as a Phantom Knights and a Raid Raptor card. But the part where you detach material and you special summon Ark Rebellion on top of it, let me go down into that effect and read it very clearly. After after you put Ark Rebellion on top of it, the rest of the effect says, but destroy it during your opponent's next end phase. And, the rest of its effect says it's treated as an Xyz summon and, attach the materials, all that junk. How rank up works. Alright? So the part about Raiders Knight says destroy it during the end phase. Well, the thing is, Ark Rebellion's not going anywhere. Because Ark Rebellion's effect says is that this Xyz summoned card, and Raiders Knight Xyz summoned it, cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you just got a free summon, and your monster's not going anywhere. Also, your opponent can't destroy it with card effects, so that's a plus. Alright, it's also a 3000 dragon beat stick, and we play 2 of them, so I mean, that's great. But its other effect is you detach 1 material from Ark Rebellion, and you negate every other monster's effect on the field permanently. If they leave the field and come back, then they have their monster effects back. But the ones that stay on the field, they're permanently negated. And also, Ark Rebellion Xyz Dragon gains the attack points of every other card on the field. It is the original attack, right? Just to be clear. Gains the total original attack of every other monster on the field. So, 2500, 3000, playing Blue Eyes, 3000, 3000, 3000, 3000. He's going to get like over 10,000 attack. And when you activate that effect, every other monster's effect is negated except him. He gains a big old attack bonus, like 10,000 over. And you can only attack with him. The rest of your monsters you can't attack with. So like I said, he's a I'm going to try end the game now kind of card by attacking you with 10,000 to the face real quick kind of card. So that's what we do with that monster. And that's why we play 2. Because sometimes our opponent will negate our Raiders Knight or our Breaksword and try to just negate the effects of those activations and just destroy them. So that's why we play 2 of each. Technically 3 of each, because we play 3 Breaksword and 2 and 2 of those. Alright, and now we're going to move on into our links and fusions. So of course, for the last I guess Phantom Knights card that we play in the extra deck is the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish, however you want to say it. And what this card does is when it's summoned, you can send a Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the grave and set 1 Phantom Knights spell or trap directly from your deck. Also, if an Xyz monster is summoned to any of its link arrows, you can then destroy 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. So that's also pretty great. I think it gives an attack bonus, doesn't it? I believe it does. No? I think that's another card I'm thinking of. Oh well. Would be great though. So that is the only other Phantom Knight monster that we play in the extra deck. And lastly, because we play the Dragoon package, I'm going to play Predaplant to help us search out any of our fusions and then go from there. And we play 2 Dragoon to go ahead and wrap it up with that. Alright guys, so I want to thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video and watching my deck profile for this. It took me a while to actually get the cards because I'm constantly trying to build on my Dark Magician deck and like my Red Eyes deck and some of my other decks like my Rocket deck that I'm still not entirely done building because it keeps changing. But I actually managed to get like a total of 5 decks built. And the Rocket deck is still sort of ready, and yeah, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of deck profiles because I got my decks built. So thank you guys for watching all the way to the end, and I want to wish you guys a great day and peace out.